You've been looking for something your entire life. But here's what you didn't realise. Seekers never find. That's not cynicism. That's mechanics. The act of seeking creates distance between you and what you're looking for. It's built into the very structure of searching. You can't seek what you already have. You can only seek what you believe is missing. And that belief, that assumption of absence, is what keeps you searching forever. The chosen aren't chosen because they're special. They're chosen because they stopped seeking. They recognised something fundamental that seekers miss. You can't find yourself by looking. You can only find yourself by stopping the search and noticing you were never lost. That shift, that recognition, operates on a completely different wavelength than seeking. It's not a higher level. It's a different dimension entirely. Think of it like this. Imagine you're standing in a room looking for your glasses. You're checking every surface, opening drawers, retracing your steps. You're completely absorbed in the search. And someone points out that your glasses are on your head. You weren't finding them because you were wearing them the whole time. The search wasn't bringing you closer to your glasses. The search was the only thing keeping you from realising they were already there. That's the difference between seekers and the chosen. Seekers are looking for enlightenment, truth, awakening, whatever you want to call it. The chosen realised they were wearing it the whole time. Not metaphorically, actually. The thing you're searching for isn't hiding. It's looking through your eyes right now. It's reading these words. It's breathing your breath. You're not separate from it. You are it. You've always been it. The search is what creates the illusion of separation. Seekers consume content. They read books, watch videos, attend workshops, follow teachers. They're collecting information, hoping that somewhere in all that knowledge, they'll find the missing piece. The chosen consume the same content, but they're not looking for answers anymore. They're looking for confirmation. They already know. They're just checking to see if anyone else sees what they see. There's a massive difference between those two states. One is hungry, one is full, one is reaching, one is resting. You can feel it in the body. Seekers have this constant low-level tension, a sense of incompletion, a feeling that something is missing, that they're not quite there yet, that they need one more piece of the puzzle. The chosen have a different sensation. It's not bliss. It's not ecstasy. It's more like quiet, like the engine finally turned off, like the question mark dissolved. Not because they found the answer, but because the question stopped making sense. This is where it gets tricky. Because seeking feels virtuous. It feels like growth, like progress, like you're doing something important. And our entire culture reinforces that. Keep learning, keep growing, keep striving, never settle. But there's a point where seeking becomes the problem, where the search itself is the obstacle, where the effort to improve is what's preventing you from recognising you're already complete. The chosen didn't transcend seeking by trying harder. They transcended it by seeing through it, by recognising that the one who seeks and the one who sought are the same, that the distance between you and enlightenment is imaginary, that awakening isn't something that happens to you in the future. It's what you are right now. It's pretending not to be. By the way, our shared space of light and awareness is on its way to 100,000 people. Thank you to everyone who subscribes and brings this moment closer. So what separates these two states? What's the actual mechanism? It's not knowledge. Seekers often know more than the chosen. They've read more books, studied more traditions, memorized more concepts. It's not morality. Seekers are often more ethical, more disciplined, more committed to their path. It's not effort. Seekers work harder than almost anyone. So what is it? It's a shift in identity. Seekers identify as the one who doesn't know, the one who's incomplete, the one who needs fixing. That identity drives every action, every choice, every interpretation of experience. They see the world through the lens of lack. Everything becomes evidence that they're not there yet. Every moment of doubt, every challenging emotion, every perceived failure reinforces the story that they still have work to do. The chosen shifted that identity, not through affirmation or positive thinking, through recognition. They saw that the one who thinks they're incomplete is just a thought, a story, a habit of mind. And when you see a thought as a thought, it loses its power. It doesn't disappear, it just stops defining you. You stop believing it. You stop organising your entire life around trying to fix something that was never broken. This is the part that sounds arrogant to seekers. You're saying you're enlightened. You're saying you've arrived? No, that's not what this is. The chosen aren't claiming to be special. They're claiming that specialness is irrelevant. That the whole framework of arrived versus not arrived is the trap. That trying to become something you already are is insane. That the search for completeness is what creates the feeling of incompleteness. Seekers are hoping. They're hoping that one day, if they do enough inner work, read enough books, meditate enough hours, they'll finally break through. They'll finally get it. They'll finally be free. That hope feels good. It gives life meaning. It gives struggle purpose. But it's also a prison. Because as long as you're hoping for a future state, you're denying the present one. You're saying, not here, not now, not this. You're rejecting what is in favour of what could be. The chosen aren't hoping. They're not waiting for anything. They're not trying to get somewhere. They already are where they thought they needed to get. And it's not what they expected. It's not permanent bliss. It's not immunity to pain. It's not supernatural power. It's just this ordinary life without the layer of resistance, without the constant inner commentary about how it should be different, without the seeking. And here's the strange part. Once you stop seeking, seeking can happen through you. But it's not the same. It's not driven by lack. It's not trying to escape the present moment. It's more like curiosity, like play. You might still read spiritual books, but you're not reading them to become something. You're reading them because they're interesting. You might still meditate, but you're not meditating to achieve anything. You're meditating because sitting quietly feels good. The chosen walk through the same world as seekers. They face the same challenges, feel the same emotions, have the same doubts. But there's a fundamental difference in how they relate to all of it. Seekers are fighting with reality, fighting with themselves, fighting to become worthy, fighting to reach some imagined finish line. The chosen stopped fighting, not because they won, because they realised there was never a war. This isn't about giving up. It's not about stopping your practice or abandoning your growth. It's about recognising the difference between action that comes from lack and action that comes from wholeness. When you act from lack, you're trying to fix yourself. When you act from wholeness, you're expressing yourself. Same action, completely different energy. One is exhausting, one is effortless. Seekers think the chosen have something they don't. That's the whole problem. The chosen don't have anything extra. They just stopped pretending something was missing. They stopped believing the story that they're broken, that they're incomplete, that they need to earn their own existence. They saw through it. And once you see through a story, you can't unsee it. You can't go back to believing it the way you used to. So, how do you make that shift? How do you go from seeker to chosen? Here's the frustrating answer. You don't. You can't. Because the one trying to make the shift is the seeker. The seeker can't become chosen through more seeking. That's like trying to find silence by making noise. The shift happens when you stop trying to make it happen. When you stop trying to become what you already are. When you stop rejecting this moment in favour of some better future moment. It's not a technique. It's not practice. It's a recognition. And it can happen any time. Right now, as you're reading this, you could recognise that the one reading these words is already what you've been seeking. You don't have to become aware. You already are awareness. You don't have to find peace. You are the space in which peace and chaos both appear. You don't have to reach enlightenment. You are the light that makes all experience possible. But recognizing that doesn't mean the seeking stops. Not immediately. The habit is strong. The identity of seeker has been running for years, maybe decades. It doesn't dissolve overnight. But once you've seen it, once you've recognized that you're playing both roles, the seeker and the sought, something fundamental changes. The search loses its urgency. The desperation fades. You still move, but you're not running anymore. The chosen aren't finished. They're not at the end of some journey. They just stop measuring their worth by how far they've come, or how far they have to go. They stop judging themselves by spiritual standards. They stop comparing their inner experience to some idealized version they read about in books. They just are, whatever that means in this moment. However messy, however unclear, however ordinary. And that's the frequency that separates them. Not a high vibration, not a special state, just the absence of the one who thinks they're not enough. The absence of the story that something essential is missing. The absence of the belief that you have to earn your place in existence. When that story drops, even for a moment, everything changes. Not because the world changed, because you stopped fighting with it. So if you're still seeking, that's fine. Seek. But notice in what's seeking. Notice who believes they're incomplete. Notice who's trying to get somewhere. And in that noticing, you might see something. You might see that the noticer was never the seeker. That the awareness watching the search is already free. That you've been standing on the finish line the whole time, looking for the starting gun. The chosen didn't figure something out. They stopped trying to. They didn't achieve enlightenment. They recognized it was never absent. They didn't become something special. They stopped pretending they were separate. And that shift, that simple recognition, changes everything. Not in some dramatic fireworks way, in a quiet, undeniable way. The war ends, the search stops, and life, ordinary messy life, is finally enough. If this video shifted something in you, write in the comments, "I'm already home," Write it as your promise. Not to me. Not to anyone else. To the part of you that's been seeking, that's been fighting, that's been trying so hard to become what you already are. Nobody